Well, this is a wife make happy update and upgrade, sort of. So coming from the G27 to the MOZA wheel, it is rather loud. And she used to mention something about it before, and I see a lot of guys on the internet are talking about it now, as far as, you know, the noise it's making, and I guess the wives are being vocal. So this is called a wife happy upgrade, or happier. Because they're never quite happy, right? But happy wife, happy life. So MOZA has sent a very small piece of neoprene, one-sided sticky, and the Allen key to remove these in order to slide it inside there. So we're going to get to that and see how it turns out. Going to be pretty simple. Again, stuck to the shifter magnet. We're going to unscrew this one and slide that pad in to where that magnet is. So we'll be right back. Pretty easy. Take the screws off, and then we'll do a little bit of video when we're got the paddle off and trying to slide it inside. Right in there. So we'll be back. A great place to hang onto the screws. As you can see, they do use Loctite on it. A little bit less on one screw than there is the other. But, so yeah, and thinking I needed a pair of scissors in order to cut the pieces I need. After I looked at it, further review, we can see that that they're cut into individual pieces. Now there's 5 of them. Why wouldn't there be 6? So we're going to take one of these little pieces off, and I've already kind of just stuffed it in there to hear what the sound is like. So I'm going to double up on that and see how it is, because right now we're at this level, and with one in, we'll check it. And now we've applied one into here. See it in there? So it's a little, as compared to a little deader, but it still has some, that's, you won't be able to avoid, I don't think, that part of it. But it's almost like they're equal now. So we'll finish up. As you can see, we've put the paddle back on. Now a little suggestion to everybody out there when you're doing this, which I know from putting stuff together in the past, is that, and these have become a little bit magnetic because I left them sitting there to stop them from rolling, which is really convenient. So if you're worried about losing these screws about anywhere, don't worry, because almost as soon as you pull them out, they'll jump to the magnet, and then this becomes magnetized, so it makes it kind of easy. So taking them apart, you can feel the torque that's on them when you pull them off, so kind of torque them up to the same thing when they're going back on. If you would wish to apply some new Loctite to them, you can. If not, you can leave them. I just left mine. But putting it back together, putting this one in first, and just don't tighten it up right away. And then putting the second screw back in, you'll want to sort of wiggle that back and forth and be really gentle and find where the thread is at and wiggle it onto the thread so you don't strip it, because I imagine these are very easily stripped for anybody who hasn't done anything with screws or anything like that. It can be done easily yourself, but if you just take your time and make sure that you don't over tighten them, for one, and number two, that you don't strip the threads on it or cross thread it when it's going in, because that can be very easy. I just suggest if you get it down into where the hole is, and if you just gently wiggle it until you feel the thread going in on its own, and then screw it down. If there's any sort of tension, just at like doing this at finger tight, then don't proceed any further. Try and wiggle it in order to get the threads lined up. Don't tighten this one all the way, and then find your hole on this one. That's what she said. And then get it down to where it's snug, and then snug the other one, snug that one, and then do a final tighten on each, almost to the same as what you do when you're pulling them off. Now, I've gone and stuck 2 of those pads inside here. Maybe other people take this assembly off, I'm not sure, but I found it just easy enough to get in there, and just be careful enough to slide it in. Take your time, because it can be done. I put one on the top, one on the bottom. Hope it doesn't interfere with the shifting. If it does, then we'll have to take another one out, but I think it's okay. Now, MOZA had sent along this, which there is going to be 1 left over out of 5 that were on here, and could have been 6, I guess, if you wanted to triple up, which I don't think it would probably shift after that. But anyways, so we're going to do the other side, and as it stands now, this is the difference between a silenced shifter and a shifter with no sound deadening pads in it. And I'll even try and be easy with it. And then we have quite a bit of difference. But we'll know once we get it on there, which I think I'll just do this one instead of doing both, and we'll make sure that everything still works. But that's going to be tolerable. I actually like that. Some of you may like the more positive feel of that and don't mind the noise because you got headphones on or whatever else, but yeah, wife happiness is 2 layers of that stuff, I think. We're gonna see. We'll get it up on the sim and see how it goes, and then we'll come back and do the other side. And again, I won't have to do it with you because one side is the same as the other. Probably at some point when I get to doing gameplay again, we'll be able to see the difference. See the difference. Hear the difference. So, a little thing on the sound deadening stuff. MOZA sent these little squares pre-cut. Not being picky or anything, but could have been 6, 5. Maybe there's a reason there's only 5, but yeah, 6 would have been okay, just in case you needed to, for some reason, put another one in there. But again, I would think that might limit it to actually shifting, but I can deal with that. Kind of on par, front and the back. Okay, if you like it, make your wife happy, do it. We'll catch you on the next one.